Hey, it's John-Marc, and welcome to today's lesson on teaching you how to draw Iron Man. So if Iron Man's one of your favorite characters or you like him, I think you're going to appreciate this lesson. That's right, this was today's mystery character that I actually created. This was the very first lesson that I'm doing this, so every Friday around noonish, this new mystery character will be coming out. Actually, if you go to my YouTube channel now, you'll actually see a whole list of them with a black silhouette around them with a whole bunch of question marks. So you gotta check it out. So what are we gonna do today is what I'm gonna do is show you how I finished the third step of my step-by-step drawing lesson. So the first thing I do is I have the actual character. I sketch it out very loosely, not too much detail, very loosely. Then I take it to the second step. I get a little bit tighter, a little bit more defined in some of the areas that I can see when I need to do my final and third step, which I'm going to be doing right now. So if you're ready, let's begin the lesson. I'm excited. All right, so I'm currently working on Photoshop, and you're going to see me working off of my stylus. And in my other hand is where I'm going to be able to rotate my paper, well, my illustration. And then I'll also have my keyboard here where I can actually enlarge and reduce the images, and have my hand here where I can move the paper around. As I shared in the past, what I'd like to do actually is zoom in at times so you can see, but I like to rotate the illustration to make it easier for my hand. So if I'm drawing this way, I'm not moving this way, I'm not moving this way, I'm not moving my body, I'm keeping my body still, and I'm letting my action just flow a lot easier. All right, so let's begin the lesson, and you can watch, and I hope you enjoy. Yeah, I created a whole bunch of these characters, about 30 of them. And what I did is, well, I didn't create the characters. It's the style that I create. This like this pop art style. And I create first the round head. As you can see, the round head. I try to make them about 2 to 3 heads high, the characters. So you're going to see a lot more of these from Marvel, DC, the villains as well. And I did some just regular generic characters as just as a fun little thing. But I'm not going to say what they are or which one, because I don't want to ruin that surprise. And it's fun. It's fun. I actually print these out. I've gone to Comic-Con, and that's where actually Blossom and the people actually commissioned me to do some of these characters. And that's where I actually ended up doing all these 30 plus. And I'm planning on doing some new ones too. So if you have any suggestions, I would love to hear which ones that you would like, because you never know, I might already have done it, and I may not have done it then. Oop, there we go. Let's keep that one up on the screen there. All right, there we go. Round head. What I do from here then, after I pencil it all in, I'll take it to Illustrator, and then I'll use the vector art to do the inking. And then from that vector art, I'll put all the flat colors in, and then I'll airbrush it all in as in Photoshop, as you can see there. I like that. It's something really fun and easy to do, but at the same time, I have that unique multi-layer that I like. And you're probably saying, what do you mean by multi-layer? Because as a traditional artist, you only have one layer when you're airbrushing and drawing. As a computer artist, you have many layers that you can create. It's a good thing and a bad thing. Okay, you have undos, and you can actually customize the layers for you to do unique look and shapes, and techniques, shadowing, ghosting, blurring, a ton. Now the sad thing is a lot of artists nowadays don't know how to do something like that traditionally, and that's something that I would strongly recommend you to do. Digital computer's nice, but traditional art is something that you need to still have in and underneath your belt to become a better artist. Just because a computer does not make you the artist. You are the artist. Such as this pen, this is nothing but you. So just remember, so when you're actually working on your project, it's not how much money you spend on a computer, not how much money you spend on a pencil. It's how you are as an artist. If you're capable, you can do anything with a $2 pencil to a $200 pencil. The pencil doesn't make you as the artist. Now, saying that, paint and paintbrushes are a different factor. That I will say. But when you're dealing with pencil, that is not. Even paper. Paper does make a difference too, depending on if you're doing acrylic or watercolor. Acrylic would be more like on a canvas board or a canvas. And these things do make a difference. So sometimes paying for a better canvas material, or should I say watercolor paper, yes. But traditionally when you're just sketching, which we're doing right here, not an expensive pencil. You can just do it with your regular number 2 pencil. And what is that considered, an HB? Iron Man is a fun character. As you can see here, what I'm doing now is I'm just giving a straight outline. And this is typically what I normally do to create that character that you see on the screen right there. I give all the techniques in there, and then this whole layer, once again, bring it to Illustrator, and I'll ink over it 2 different layers, layer number 1 and 2. And then from there, again, I'll take it into Photoshop. Been working off of Photoshop since 1988, when it was version 2. A lot of people are working on higher versions, and that was way back then when there were no layers and you didn't have multiple undos. You just had one undo. That's it. And that was more of a challenge then, even so, as an artist trying to get familiarized with the digital computer. But right now we have multiple undos and layers. It was really challenging. One of the biggest challenges that I had was back then, that's when I was doing comic book coloring for Marvel, and Punisher was one of the ones that I was working on. And we didn't have multiple layers, it was just one layer. So the inks and the color, I'm working on one layer. So it was as if I was doing traditional art, which I'm very familiar with back then, doing airbrushing, frisketing, and getting the files ready for frisket. So it wasn't that much of a challenge, but making sure that you had the consistency of everything that the illustrator, which was Joe Kubert at the time, illustrated, so the artwork would look really good. So that was Joe Kubert's very first digital coloring on the computer with me at his school, the Joe Kubert School of Cartoon and Graphic Arts. Back then in 1992-ish, I think it was, right around then. I could be wrong, but I think it was right around then. So I was teaching daytime classes there, and then Marvel wanted him to do some coloring on the computer. So which I stepped up and I said, yeah, let's do it. Be fun. So I actually did the very first comic book with him, 7 of them actually, The Punisher, Warzone. And then with Adam, his son, I did the X-Man cover for one of the ones as well. That was fun working on that. Finding some little tricks that us artists add into their imagery. So, as you can see here, I'm still completing the Iron Man. Dun, 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 dun. He's looking good. He's looking good. Oops, where did he go? He flipped all the way around. Let's get him around there. There we go. That's better. Let's finish up this foot. And I'm just lightly going over. And again, as you can see, when I'm working on this, I can easily change the shape or go further or shorter with the line and add things to the artwork. That's why it's nice to use a blue line, because you can see what did you do last time to where you are now. As an animator, sometimes we have a very rough pencils that we would like to do, and if we were doing always in the same color, same lead, not color, it's kind of hard to see. So sometimes you get your gestures and like really easy on the blues, and your red line would be more like for your shadows. So that's some of the stuff that I was getting taught by one of the teachers at the Kubert School, who actually was one of the original Disney animators back then in the heydays with Walt, back in the 30s and 40s. His name was Milt Neal. Real nice guy. And just about done with this one right now. It's looking good. I'm liking that. Coming to the last leg, no pun intended. And then from here, that's where I would airbrush it in. lay the flat colors in, actually, should I say. And complete this whole entire project and put it up into my portfolio. That's looking good. Just one more leg to go. I can use the eraser if I wanted to, but as you can see, the blue lines, I really didn't use any of the eraser. It's really sketchy, and that's okay, because you're coming back over on the black line, and again, it's on a different layer. So if I want to turn it on or turn it off, I can easily erase my HB number 2 pencil without erasing the blue lines underneath, which is really, really nice. But as you know, traditional art, that doesn't happen. Which is okay. You gotta deal with what the techniques that we grew up with. And again, practice, practice, practice. Just about done. Just about done with this one. Okay, let's see. I kind of do a little quick overview. Looking good. Let me zoom back out. One more. All right. Looking good. I like it. I hope you enjoyed watching me do the final step and learning a little bit about how I apply this technique of layering and sketching into the final one to the X-Men. Anyways, I wanted to say thanks for checking out this video and have a great day.